Good evening, everyone. We're starting to wind down with the rain that we've had throughout the later part of today. Still some spots of heavy rain, a couple oranges and yellows still showing up as it moves through Charlotte and Campbell counties, but a lot of it is taken care of at this point. NRV staying dry, Highlands staying dry, Roanoke is pretty dry at this point too, so just Lynchburg and Southside have to deal with rain for the next 30-45 minutes or so. This system has really been moving quickly. When we would get severe thunderstorm warnings earlier on, a lot of times we would actually have the storm warned for maybe 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, but the storm itself was moving along at 80 miles per hour. It would be outside of the polygons drawn by the Weather Service even before it was over. So it was a particularly quick moving one. To zoom in a little bit closer on the rain that we do currently have, not really looking at lightning flashes right now. As it came through Martinsville, there was some lightning, and same thing in Pennsylvania County. And as you get to Halifax, a little bit of that too. But most of the lightning has calmed down at this point, and like I was saying, we're going to stay pretty dry from here on out. There's nothing really behind this system, and as it keeps on pushing further and further towards the east, it'll start to lose more energy, so the eastern side of Virginia isn't looking at too much storminess. A lot of it has calmed down further towards the south, too. Have gotten some storm reports in. These are all technically from a little west of us, and as the night goes on into tomorrow, I'm sure we'll get some more reports, but a lot of what we saw was trees either uprooted or down in Chilhowie, Saltville, and Sugar Grove. On top of that, a lot of those spots had power outages as well. So it goes to show that even when we just have wind with severe thunderstorms, they can do plenty of damage as it is. And once this system moves off towards the east, we still have plenty of wind to deal with. We have a wind advisory for a lot of the counties in the NRV and Highlands, including Roanoke County, City of Roanoke, as you get towards Pulaski and Montgomery, that's included, and even parts of Pocahontas and Greenbrier. But that darker brown color is the high wind warning that we've got that goes through much of tomorrow. Winds are going to pick up in the next 2 hours or so, and then stay pretty high consistently through the nighttime hours. Once the sun rises, the wind starts to come down a little bit, but it really takes until late on Saturday for that wind to leave us alone. We don't have to deal with rain or anything on top of that, so that's kind of a boon for us. And we will have sunshine that helps us warm up pretty nicely. Looking here in Roanoke over the next 12 hours, we are going to get some winds up towards 20-25 miles per hour with gusts up towards 40 or 45. Throughout a lot of the wind advisory, we can get gusts to 50. Through the high wind warning, we can get gusts to 60. So it's definitely going to be tough driving around in some places tomorrow. Be extra careful. You don't have to look out for too much rain or ice or anything, but the wind itself is definitely going to be pushing against your car, so you might have to fight it for a while. Winds themselves have been okay through a lot of the evening. It was high when a storm was coming through, but most of it kind of calm down after that. But as we get past midnight into tomorrow morning, we've got winds up towards 50 miles per hour for some of those highest gusts. That's what you see in the purple that's spread through a lot of the western part of our region. It does stay slightly calmer in south side, but not by very much. Through 4 a.m., we've still got winds up towards 40, 50 in some places, and it doesn't really come down until we get towards 11. By then, we've got more gusts to 30 to 40, and then it really starts to come down in the afternoon, getting down towards the 20 to 30 range. After 3 p.m. is when we see it get a little bit more normal. By 6 p.m., we've got some pretty standard winds, and then they'll stay calm Saturday night going on into Sunday. Now, with temperatures cooling down quite a bit, a lot of us getting down towards 40 or into the low 40s, like Lynchburg at 42, Highlands at 41. We are below the 50-degree point, which means we can get wind chill. And with winds this high, it's definitely going to be noticeable. Most of us feeling about 5 to 10 degrees cooler than what the actual temperature is. Through this evening, wind chill was not much of a problem. But from midnight on, we're going to go from feeling like we're in the 40s and 50s to feeling like we're down into the 30s, 20s, or even teens like what we've got in Hot Springs. It does improve a little bit as we go through the morning, but not by a lot. It takes until afternoon when those winds really start to calm down and the sun starts to warm us up nicely for us to feel any better than we do earlier on. As far as the storm reports, like I was saying, most of it is just trees down. If we get more, I'll let you know as we go through the night into tomorrow. And on the future tracker, we are going to stay pretty consistently dry. The clouds that we have will generally stay towards the west, and we might get some snowfall on western slopes up in Pocahontas, Greenbrier County. It's not going to last very long. It's not going to stack up to very much. We stay pretty sunny and dry through a lot of the day, even though we start off with some clouds. We're clear as we go through the night into Sunday morning, and then Sunday stays particularly sunny. That is the better looking day of the weekend since we have less wind. It is a little bit warmer, and the sunshine is really consistent. Once we get towards 11 p.m., some clouds build in, but even then it's a mix. So you could spend plenty of that time outside. And really over the next 5 days, we're looking pretty dry. Tuesday brings a couple showers our direction. But the biggest impact we're going to notice from that system is a lot of colder air coming in. So definitely get to stay dry after a particularly soggy day. Now there is a lot of cold that's going to come into the U.S. over the next 6 to 10 days. The Climate Prediction Center has the center of the country, especially from Kansas up into South Dakota, staying well below average. But we're still going to be at least a little bit below average as we go through. At that point, averages will be in the upper 50s, low 60s, so it'll be feeling more low to mid 50s, which is what averages were when we were way above them in the 60s and 70s. So we're kind of all over the place. It is getting to be the end of winter and going into spring. It's normal for temperatures to be kind of up and down, but we've definitely had a lot of heat, keeping us well above average for a long time. So to be a little bit below is going to be a change of pace from where we've been since really the start of the year. Overnight, we've got temperatures falling down into the 40-degree range, but like I was saying, with that wind, it'll feel more 5 to 10 degrees cooler than that. With the low at 38, Covington 41, and Danville at 44. And then on Saturday, we are able to warm up okay. Most of our temperatures are going to get into the 50s and some even into the 60s. Lynchburg at 61, Blacksburg 54, Wytheville 53. Hot Springs stays a little bit cooler because of that extra cloud cover, but should warm up nicely on Sunday. As far as temperature patterns go over the next 7 days, we are going to be warmer on Sunday, get a little bit of extra heat on Monday, and hold on to that on Tuesday. But as that system comes through, it just brings a few showers, but it does bring noticeably cooler air once we get towards the end of the work week. Mid-50s Wednesday, Thursday, and on Friday with some extra cloud cover, we're going to stay around 50. Now, with lows cooling down at that point, I mean, we've got lows in the 50s earlier on in the week, but once we get down into the 30s for some of our lows on Friday, that means that we're able to form some snow as that system comes through. It's not going to be a lot. I don't think it's going to stack up very much. I don't think it's even going to last too long into the day before the rain starts to melt it. But coming down as flakes is not out of the question, and then rain more consistently, especially through the later parts of the morning and going into the afternoon. After that, I think our temperatures will be able to rebound. Now I'm going to check in and see if you guys have had any questions, anything that I can answer over the next couple of minutes. So let's hear what you have. I think we're going to stay pretty dry in Southside over the next couple of days. Question was specifically there. But all of us are looking really, really dry. Like I was saying, maybe some snow in the highlands tomorrow, but that's not going to stack up very much. I would say what we are going to have is a lot of wind, and that's in Southside and everywhere else through Saturday. And on Sunday, we're going to stay pretty calm. Anything else? All right. Well, I hope you have a great evening. We're going to be a lot calmer at this point. We still got the wind chill tomorrow, but it is looking up as we go through the weekend. We'll be here at 11 for more recaps on what these storms brought.